to youth of South Africa, and that can only be done through renewal of all its structures to ensure that they reflect the spirit and purport of the Constitution of the ANC Youth League. The members of the ANC Youth League the membership of the ANC Youth League must be open up to all people under the age of 35. Barriers to entry must be stripped away and membership recruited for the organization to perform all these tasks. It is imperative that the Youth League and its role in South African body politic is reimagined. The meeting reiterated the clarion call that young people must be at the forefront of reimagining the Youth League and assist the NYTT to execute its mandate. The NYTT has committed itself to supporting internal democratic processes and consistent engagements. On the legal status of the ANC Youth League and administrative matters, the NYTT received a handover report from the 25th NEC of the ANC Youth League outlining the status of the Youth League. The Youth League is still under liquidation. NYTT is still under liquidation, and it must be noted that this liquidation process of a political party is unusual, and therefore compliance with legal remedies designed for private companies is often difficult to apply. The NYTT will continue to do everything within legal prescripts to ensure that the liquidation of the Youth League is rescinded. The meeting of the NYTT noted the inputs from the strategic workshop, which included, but not limited to, rebuilding the ANC Youth League is an urgent strategic priority of the ANC itself. Success in this regard ensures that not only it resonates with the views of the ANC amongst the youth, but above everything else, it guarantees the ANC its future. Reimagining the ANC Youth League in a post-apartheid society in a manner which enables the Youth League to fulfill its historical mission as captured in the 1944 manifesto and possibly redefine its mission for future generations. The existing membership of the ANC Youth League will be allowed to play a meaningful role in the revival of the Youth League. The rebuilding of the Youth League is not limited to the Youth League members only, but should also incorporate the state of the Progressive Youth Alliance as a whole. What was also noted finally in this regard is that the Youth League should take center stage with regards to implementation of the fourth industrial revolution. In this context, the NYTT therefore resolved the following: to incorporate young people into the work of the NYTT, particularly young women. 2, to ensure that gatekeeping in the organization is negated by the introduction of the new online membership system. 3, a comprehensive roadmap which outlines the processes of rebuilding the ANC Youth League over the next few months will be issued to all structures. 4, we need to commence provincial visits by the 1st of September 2019 to assess the state of organization. 5, we need to ensure the court rescinds the liquidation order granted against the ANC Youth League in a period of a month. Lastly, the NYTT will be supporting the PYA in upcoming SRC elections across all campuses. In conclusion, the youth of South Africa faces a myriad of challenges. Most concerning is the scourge of unemployment. Recent statistics reveal that at least 27 to 29% of our population is unemployed. Half of the people unemployed are citizens below the age of 35. Majority of young people in this country are in a constant battle for survival against brutal socio-economic situations that form part of their daily life realities. A struggle against these socio-economic problems facing the youth can only be waged by an ANC Youth League that is stable, reliable, and grounded in its historical roots. The NYTT is committed to build trust and ensure that there is transparency and cooperation. The NYTT is committed to working in tandem with members of the ANC Youth League to ensure that a successful Congress is convened. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Sibongile, the son. And colleagues, I'll now like to take this opportunity to afford you an opportunity to ask questions, clarity seeking, and we have a roving mic. I'm not sure if it's ready. And you can just mention your name and the media house that you represent, and then proceed with your question. Was the statement that clear? Questions, one-on-ones? Okay. Going once, two, going gone. Okay, thank you very much. That brings us to the end of today's briefing. And once again, oh, you still want to go through the statement? Aye, but Abogile, you should have listened throughout when Comrade Besani was reading the statement. So what do we do? Do we? Okay. It seems like there's a hand there.
Thank you. I'm Sidi Madia from News 24. Just two maybe very quick questions, and I might have missed it, Spongile, please forgive me. Just on the roadmap itself, because I was part of what we understood you were establishing, what are the timelines in terms of when must branches should have done A, B, C, D, E in terms of the path towards conference? When will provincial conferences be held? Do those matter? Because that argument also remains that, you know, it actually is a conference of branches. And then just the youth league's posture, the task team's posture and concerns around the issue of money in politics, because while it's happening in the mother body, it cannot be exempted, and one cannot assume that money won't play a factor in this. What were the conversations around that, and how do you guard against that? Thank you.
Okay. Abongile, are you covered?
Yeah, covered.
Any other hand? Okay, Lizega.
Lizega, News 24. There's been a lot of dissenting voices, if you will, from the ANC Youth League.
We cross out of that briefing now, and of course we will continue to give you a little bit more out of that ANC Youth League task force as well.
Just clarify how exactly this will be done. Will they form part of this entity, or will they be advisors of the entity? How exactly do you plan to incorporate young people?
Mbali from Newsroom Africa. I just want to find out, there's been an issue with some of the ANC Youth League, the former members that I've spoken to, and they were saying that there's an issue around the membership of the Youth League. Has there been plans to revive the processes of how young people can join the Youth League? And are there any plans into trying to call on more young people to actually join the Youth League? Because they're saying that there's a lot of gatekeeping, there's issues around that you wait for a long time until the processes of you joining the membership. So just clarity on that particular point.
Okay. Any other hand? All right. we'll stop there for now, and I will hand over once again to leadership to provide responses to those questions. Over to you, leadership.
No, thank you very much. On the issue of timelines, the NEC of the ANC did not give the NYTT a specific timeline. But in these situations, we use a principal approach of the ANC that at least our roadmap should go to about 9 months. Of course, all of us would not want to be here for more than that period. We hope that we'll be able to set up processes that are more credible, that are accepted by young people, that are not going to drag us so that we stay longer. Therefore, cooperation of many stakeholders within the youth movement or amongst the youth themselves will be of great assistance. Our focus as the workshop and also as the NYTT was not on the money politics per se this past weekend. It was basically on how do we rebuild the ANC Youth League. So that process is underway, and part of what we've been discussing is how do we deal with the overall challenges that we're faced with. So we won't respond to that specific question in that regard. We'll just want to respond to it broadly. The role of young people in the NYTT, they are not going to be an advisory body. In terms of our statement, we have said we have to include more young people, especially young women, because one of the shortcomings that we just observed after the formation, the establishment of the NYTT, is that the gender parity was not in place. So we're addressing that issue specifically. So they will be part of the NYTT, the young women that will be brought to the fore. So that will be the starting point. And we move from the premise that the ANC Youth League can be reimagined by young people themselves. There's no two ways about it. So in as much as we're part of, we're leading this NYTT, ours is to ensure that we engage young people across all spectrum. Therefore, we'll be consulting with the PYA, we'll be consulting with young people broadly. That's why part of our job is to ensure that we go to all the provinces and we open up, we discuss with them, and based on that, we'll take specific decisions to ensure that the ANC Youth League is rebuilt in earnest. I don't know if there are issues that you want to add on, Convener.
Thank you very much, Coordinator. On the call on more young people to join, the ANC Youth League membership starts from 14 to 35 years. And that means all young people from that particular age should be allowed to join the ANC Youth League. We are going to ensure that all these young people will have access to membership forms of the ANC Youth League, and in that, we said in the statement, the new membership systems of the ANC are going to assist us to ensure that there is no gatekeeping. A youth league will be accessible to every young person in the country. And we also saying in our statement that the bad habits that you see or you find in the mother body should not find expression in the process of rebuilding the ANC Youth League, because we want a youth league of the ANC that will be the voice of young people of South Africa and even professionals, if I may so mention, because the youth league has a twin task. And that twin task of the ANC Youth League, in the main, it's about mobilizing young people behind the banner of the ANC and ensure that the Youth League champions the interests of young people, irrespective of affiliation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again. Just double checking, colleagues, if there's still follow-up questions, additions. 3, 2, 1. Siri, you're covered. Okay. And there are no one-on-ones requests? One-on-ones? Okay. All right. So we will communicate after this. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's briefing of the NYTT. Thank you very much.